Hello, friends. This is Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News. Today, August 25th, 2025. We got two 25s today. Thank you for joining us on this Monday edition of Weaponized News. What do we have today? We have Ruckus on the line from Alternate Current Radio. We don't want to leave them hanging too long. Let me go through what do we got to cover? Burn a flag, go to jail. It's Trump executive order here, even though the Supreme Court's already ruled on it. He don't care. Prosecuting burning of the American flag. Executive order by Trump. So he's turning out to be the tyrant that they all falsely warned about. And so it's a long game they're playing on us. It's obvious. We got other flashbacks of this government has probably always been evil. I would say it's always been evil at this point. From studying my history, so forget all your rah propaganda, wrap yourself in the flag, all this bullshit. We're complicit in genocide in Gaza, signing off on it. They killed 5, then 6. They killed 5 yesterday. And now 6 today, journalists in Gaza. Bibi, our shadow president, says it was a mishap. You know, they're targeting journalists, over 200. We have the exact numbers here we'll report on. They're targeting journalists, won't let outside international journalists in to report on how bad it is. We already know how bad it is. It's even worse because we can't even get on the ground reports, because if you go and try to report, they whack you, man. And America's signing off on all of this. Your fake conservative Inc., whatever you want to call them. I just call them government propaganda shills at this point. All your MAGAs, you're just, you're no better than left wingers. And all the time, blame the Democrat. It's all the Democrats are the bad ones. No, you're the bad ones too. The entire government, all your political parties are pure effing evil, man. A lot from Trump. Trump met with the South Korea president at the White House today. We don't even know what happened to the last one, right? I think he's locked up, the last one, and his wife. Last report I saw, we were following that big old drama in South Korea. We got that reporting for you. Trump wants to revoke the broadcasting license of ABC and NBC. Maybe they should be revoked. I don't know. They haven't been reporting on the dead journalists in Gaza, that's for sure. But now, it was AP and I believe Reuters. So now they're going to report on it. Maybe there was outrage for a day. Like, they don't even have self-preservation for themselves. Like, what are these blobs called our mainstream media here in America? I can't even go on rants. I got to get to all this. Trump signs executive order establishing specialized National Guard units. They're rolling out FEMA camps now. Chicago is next to be targeted, is what they're telegraphing here. What are you, a pro-crime commie? You're against troops on the streets? FEMA is... they're taking all the emergency funds and using them to build FEMA camps, i.e. immigrant detention centers. I think we should be concerned about this, but I guess don't be a pro-crime commie is all you're hearing out of MAGA. We got the Palantir president. J.D. Vance is waiting in line as rumors of Trump's health are circulating on the interwebs. He's got these bruises on his hands. I don't know, fat ankles, rumors of congestive heart failure, all these different rumors. There's always rumors about President's health, but you better believe next in line is very young transhumanist J.D. Vance. And MAGA will cheer that on too. They'll cheer us all the way to the FEMA camps, to the microchip implants, to the brain implants, and scream, America. More on Epstein. We got some Epstein news. We're not going to let that story die, even though it's a Democrat hoax, according to Trump. What else do we got here? We got geopolitical news, public health news, and the genocide there continues. They're bombing everywhere, man. Aardvarks are bombing Lebanon, Syria, stealing land everywhere. They're just beyond, these Zionists are beyond the pale, man. And so the people on the interwebs always say, well, I would have stood up against Hitler. Well, here's your chance, because they're reenacting Nazi type behavior there in Gaza and all the surrounding areas as well. We had a glitch on the old Rumble. Let's check in there. I had to do the hard stream. I didn't want to integrate today. Are we streaming on Rumble? I think we are, maybe. Hopefully. If not, catch us on the upload. I don't know what the deal was with that. There we go. We are live on there. Okay. I don't know what happened, but shout out to everybody on the Rumble. There is no chat coming through today. All right, let's get to this day in history. Yesterday, for those following the satanic dark occultist calendar, was St. Bartholomew's Day, great Sabbath and fire festival, large herb gathering, and they're cooking people in tents in Gaza as well. So carrying out their dark occultist satanic agenda, there's no other way to put it at this point, and well, for a very long time. On this day of August 25th, going back to the year 1515, this is a day I noticed too, is a day of foundings and an attack on free speech day is what is going on today. In 1550, on this day, Conquistador Diego Velázquez de Celor founds Havana in modern-day Cuba. It's founded way back then, 1515. Fast forward a little bit to 1609. Near 1609, on this day, Galileo demonstrates his first telescope to Venetian lawmakers, including the Doge ruler of Venice, Leonardo Donato. The Doge ruler, you heard that right. So they're following occult symbolism, taking it way back, literally laughing in our face. It's all the same. It's all the same empire here now, isn't it? On this day in 1619, slavery begins in mainland British colonies of North America, when the first known African captives, approximately 20, land at Point Comfort, Virginia, and many aardvarks involved in the slave trade. Very quiet about that. It's all you dirty white people. In 1718, on this day, hundreds of French colonists arrive in Louisiana and found New Orleans. See, we're seeing a trend of foundings going on this day. In 1814, British forces destroy the Library of Congress, which contained an estimated 3,000 books as part of the War of 1812. That's an attack on your free speech, First Amendment, and just burn the books. What the hell? I found this one interesting and funny and sad all at the same time. On this day in the year 1835, the New York Sun publishes the Great Moon Hoax story about John Herschel, who claimed he discovered life, landscapes, and fantastical creatures on the moon through a powerful telescope. What the hell? Give more money to NASA. They say they're going to, go back to the moon. That's what the reality TV show Transportation Secretary, Inner Room NASA head guy says, right? In 1910, Yellow Cab was founded on this day. In 1916, the U.S. Department of Interior forms the National Park Service. In 1921, U.S. signs peace treaty with Germany on this day, bringing that World War I, to an end, with Germany at least. In 1944, we saw the liberation of Paris on this day. German commander Deutsch von Cholitz surrenders Paris to the Free French forces, disobeying Hitler's order to destroy the city. So Paris lucked out there. In 1950, on this day, U.S. President Harry Truman orders the Army to take control of the railroads to avert a strike. See, we've been seeing tyranny in America a long time. This is a plug why Ruckus and I need your support doing the independent media thing on the interwebs here now, because we're almost relegated to eating ramen on this day. Instant ramen was introduced. Here's the image. So we do need your support. This is the first bag of ramen. And so we're over here eating ramen to cut through the propaganda and lies for you. First bag of ramen introduced on this day in what, 1958. Momofuku Ando markets the first package of pre-cooked instant noodles, chicken ramen. And so we're literally eating ramen over here to bring you independent reporting and analysis in this very serious time in history as we're going through the Great Reset, barreling toward one world government, go MAGA America, and acting like idiots on the interwebs, I guess. So anyway, we need your support here at Weaponized News. Ruckus needs it at Alternate Current Radio, because we're just about reduced to eating ramen noodles. But they lie and say the economy is wonderful. For who? For big tech, maybe. The rest of us are like, AI's taking our job. What the hell's going on here, man? Continuing, on this day in 1990, the UN authorizes force against Iraq. UN Security Council authorizes military action against Iraq for invading Kuwait. But they told Saddam he could invade and then turn around and double back. But hey, what the hell, George W. Bush, or George Bush, whatever the hell he is, former CIA director as president of America, and conservatives love it, I guess. And so there you go. UN should authorize force there in Gaza to stop the genocide. They won't, because America vetoes it. They wouldn't anyway, because they're all on board with the agenda as well there of genocide, ethnic cleansing, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. It's quite horrific. Indeed. And then our civil rights, civil liberties. On this day in history, John Birch dies, right-wing group named in his honor. John Birch died on this day in China while serving as a U.S. military intelligence officer. He's regarded by some conservatives as the first American to die in the Cold War. As a result, the John Birch Society was founded in his honor on December 9th, 1958. The organization became one of the leading anti-communist groups in the U.S. during the 1950s and 60s. The John Birch Society was so hated by liberals who the organization repeatedly attacked for being, quote, soft on communism. Where are we at? Are we staying in order? We are staying in order. On this day in 1950, 31 University of California faculty were fired in loyalty oath controversy. The University of California Regents on this day voted to fire 31 faculty members who refused to sign a recently adopted loyalty oath. The Regents had adopted a final version of the oath on April 21st, 1950, after much protest and debate that began in 1949. The University of California loyalty oath was one of the major controversies of the Cold War era. The state Supreme Court declared the oath unconstitutional on October 17, 1952. The insidious aspect of the University of California loyalty oath and all loyalty oaths during the Cold War was that it did not penalize people for any specific crime or unprofessional conduct or the part of individuals required to sign the oath. The oath addressed only political beliefs and associations. First Amendment, who cares? We'll get to more of that. In 1964, the FBI, on this day in 1964, FBI spies on civil rights groups at Democrats' convention under orders from President Johnson. LBJ, on this day, was spying on civil rights activists at the 1964 Democrat Party convention, spying that had been specifically ordered. The Mississippi Freedom Democrat Party on April 26, 1964, sent a racially integrated delegation to the convention and demanded that it be seated rather than the official delegation, which was all white and committed to racial segregation. The FBI was careful to point out that these were the reports that the president had requested. This event dramatized LBJ's very mixed record on domestic spying. On one hand, he was the president in the modern times who had very strong feelings against wiretapping by federal agencies, and then went on to sign off on wiretapping by federal agencies. Both sides of their mouth is how they talk, these politicians, I tell you. And in 1967, J. Edgar Hoover authorizes COINTELPRO action against the Black Panther Party. Hoover, on this day, authorized COINTELPRO operations against the Black Panther Party, directing FBI agents to expose, disrupt, discredit, misdirect the militant African-American group. COINTELPRO program was a secret FBI program directed first against communist parties, then later extended to domestic groups and other groups deemed threats against the government. The program engaged in illegal actions such as wiretapping, burglaries, theft, document setups, forging documents to discredit the targeted group. So they commit unlimited crimes against you and then say you're the criminal. Pro-crime, call me. You see how this criminal crime syndicate known as the federal government operates, and they have for a very long time, probably forever. And with that, we're going to play a little segue. Ode to the president. All presidents make an impact. Few are transformational. Here's our segue propaganda video from U.S. Department of Labor. And then we'll bring on Ruckus and get to all this insane news for you.
All presidents make an impact, but few are transformational. When President Roosevelt took office, he promised a square deal for the American people. He worked to bring industry leaders and unions together and used tariff revenue generated by himself and President McKinley to build prosperity for the American worker and business. His mission was to always put America first. But decades of failed leadership forgot President Roosevelt's promise to the American worker, pursuing endless unfair trade deals and shipping our jobs overseas. But now, President Trump is advancing an agenda that will put the hard-working men and women of America first. Just like President Roosevelt, President Trump is fighting to bring workers and industry together and secure fair trade deals that will bring jobs back to America. As we celebrate Labor Day, the Department of Labor is proud to honor Presidents Roosevelt and Trump, two transformational leaders who put the American worker first.
Marcus, how you doing on this Monday?
Yeah, very well, thank you. I'm just, it's days like this that I'm happy that I live in a free country where we can freely express our feelings and protest the government and not live amongst armed troops on the streets. Oh, crap. Never mind. Please strike that comment from the record. Man, I got to say, again, with these propaganda videos from the White House, these things, they're far more entertaining than movie trailers. So I think Hollywood needs to step up their game. Either that or maybe the White House, I don't know, crossing my fingers here. Maybe you could just tone it down a little bit, just saying, I'm sure you guys are smart because you have people like Big Balls. You're hanging out with Big Balls. So he's probably, and Barron, and they've probably advised you to just ask ChatGPT or Google VO to make these fancy videos. Otherwise, you are spending far, far too much of the taxpayer dollars just for these stupid videos. Hey Sam, shout out to the you had one of the ones in your daily history today that struck a chord. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that. The Batman from the Moon story. It's a classic example of like tabloid sensationalism, fake news, all this like before the news was used to persuade people to who they're going to vote for and we're going to go to war. It was used just to sell newspapers. So they were making up crazy stuff. A lot of people don't know, or they forgot, excuse me, that these Batmen that you see in this picture here, apparently, according to the stories that were printed at the time, they were quite frisky, if you know what I mean. So they were not just observing the Batmen on the moon. They were watching them, naked and doing various things that were just vast, grossly inappropriate. But it sold papers. So it was quite... what's the word I'm looking for? Trump used the word when he was discussing the Epstein files, but the word has escaped me. But yeah, well, it was definitely a hoax. But yeah, there you have it. But yeah, good one. I reported about that story on a previous series that I did for the Daily Ruckus. So I remembered that. Fun times. Much better than what we're dealing with right now, So. But I'm happy to discuss it.
We're going to get to that. They posted this photo. Here's our Palantir president laughing. And they're like, and we told them MAGA. And they're literally laughing. They cut this guy out of the photo. Grinnell here. They cut him out of the photo and reposted this all over the place. I saw. I was like, what? But this is like the lizard meme where they're laughing. And then we told them.
Who is the third guy
Rick
there?
Grinnell, national security.
There were some of my friends and other people who were asking Grok, who's that person? And Grok couldn't figure it out.
That's Rick Grinnell, homosexual, national security dude from California, by the way. And so, yeah, and they're like them.
Did you notice that both the two technocracy bros there are doing the same hand on the hip? I mean, like identical.
Oh, I remember now why I wanted to why I brought this up was the Q idiots. Are these real people? I don't know. They're posting all over the interwebs. They say that this is a symbol. No ties, right? They have no ties, and they say this is Calm's DEFCON 10 secret, super secret, squirrel messages, riddles on the internet. This means that with the raids and the release of the DOJ interview transcripts with Maxwell on Friday, they say the no ties symbols, no ties to Epstein, is what I saw these idiots posting. And this is a secret message To me, this message is, we're bringing in scientific dictatorship, technocracy, and you idiots are talking about why we don't have ties on, and it's a secret. But anyway, that was a secret riddle on the interwebs. I saw these idiots saying, and it's all, hey, the plan is going according to plan, and so everything's wonderful. As troops roll out to the streets, we're losing our rights by the second, and it's all perfectly fine. They're funding hundreds of millions of dollars for FEMA camps. So, yeah, keep living in riddle world on the interwebs there.
Yeah, I would rather believe in the tooth fairy than any of what you just described there. But there are full-grown adults. I have not met one personally. But
I know them personally, and no matter what, you can't break the mind control on them. They take the hardcore, what is it? A Clockwork Orange, like literally strap you to the chair with the friggin' things on your eyes, and that probably won't even break the mind control that these people are under, man. They just refuse to listen to any reason, logic, anything. They're off on the moon with Batman, I guess.
It makes you wonder. I mean, because maybe these are the type of maybe they're targeted and controlled and twisted into this fake crap, so that because they're the types of people who would dig right into like whatever the truth really is. They're the conspiracy. Hey, we like this conspiracy stuff. They're like, all right, well here's a ridiculous one. Just follow this while we do the other thing over here behind the scenes. The necktie thing, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to double check this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. It has ties, no pun intended, to Freemasonry, secret societies, and things like that.
That's really what they're signaling,
I don't know.
Not some riddle on the internet. I believe that a lot more than this means no ties to Epstein, and they're basing it off of Maxwell transcripts from the DOJ, and they're saying all that is legitimate. Just come on, man. Okay, well, Trump ends cashless bail, but not before they let that child molester over there in Nevada, that's a aardvark computer tech dude, not before they let him go. But here is Trump ending cashless bail.
One of the executive orders has to do with cashless bail. That was when the big crime in this country started. And I can tell you who did it, when, but I don't want to do that because others followed pretty quickly. But that was when it happened. Somebody kills somebody, they go in, don't worry about it, no cash, come back in a couple of months, we'll give you a trial. You never see the person again. And I mean, they kill people and they get out. Cashless bail. They thought it was discriminatory to make people put up money because they just killed 3 people lying on a street. Any street, all over the country, cashless bail. We're ending it, but we're starting by ending it in D.C., and that we have the right to do through federalization.
He's not mincing words.
He's
not mincing words, through federalization.
This is the new trick. He's going to do everything in D.C. first, and then he's going
because that's a gray area because it's not a state, and they're going to say, "Well, what the hell? You're pro-crime commie," and it's like,
right. And then they let the other people demand it. Well, I want this in my city. I want this in my state, or they engineer that, like we discussed on Friday with the the African American ladies wearing hats just like mine, and they want Trump, please come put armed troops on the streets of Chicago. Okay, sure.
Go to the White House feed. There's like 5 or 6 reports from man on the street interviews with them begging for martial law. They're in D.C. And then the next question, as I keep asking, well, if it's such a big failure of local government, why are they not all arrested too? Why are they not run out of office? What is going on here?
Now the cashless bail thing, thank goodness that this only. I mean, this is isn't this going to affect other people in other instances that are far less violent crimes now being missed out on certain I don't know how all of this might work, but I don't think that this is exclusively used in a problem with people who are committing murder, that they're like, oh yeah, you just kill somebody, come on in, we'll walk on out, and you get out.
You're talking about aardvarks there.
Picture here. Oh, okay.
Thank Thank you for letting good cops be cops. Here's the FBI ad there. 11 days without a murder in Washington, D.C.
Why 11?
Because we're on day 11. This is what they're bragging about. So, law and order. Wait till you get swept up in it. Over 1,000 arrests and more than 100 illegal guns seized. Last night, another 86 arrests, including multiple suspects accused of assaulting law enforcement and National Guard, and a suspected Trendiagra gang member. And so, isn't that wonderful? Police state for you. There.
What's an illegal gun?
Whatever they deem, because they're
Oh,
the authority. They violated your Second Amendment too. They violate your First, Second. Go down the list. They'll be stationing National Guard troops in your house to violate your Third. That's one that really doesn't get that much attention. But what the hell? Executive order: National Guard troops stationed in your bedroom. Wouldn't surprise me.
Come on in. I got one bed. There's room for at least a few of you guys, and then I got one packet of ramen left. So you guys will have to fight.
That's like the only one that they don't just forwardly violate of our Bill of Rights. There, the American flag is a sacred symbol of U.S. freedom and strength. I thought it was a freedom of a symbol of imperialism, but no. For nearly 250 years, almost every one of those years, America's been at war with someone. I added that. Americans have fought and died to keep the stars and stripes waving proudly. It unites all Americans, and desecrating it is an offensive act of contempt against our nation's rights and liberty. That's from the White House leading up to executive order prosecuting burning of the American flag here. So if you have an American flag made in China, don't you dare burn it, even though this issue's already been decided, and it will go back to the Supreme Court. And who knows, maybe this quote conservative Supreme Court will rule the other way. But let's cue Bill Hicks from David Icke Post. So yeah, you burn American flag and you're looking at a year in jail. It's already been you burn American flag, you get 1 year in jail with no cash bail, obviously. Or with cash bail, but you won't be in the streets. You will see flag burning stop immediately. These are quotes from Trump. The people in our country don't want to see our flag burned and spit on. Well, it turns out it's already been ruled on by the Supreme Court. Burning U.S. flags as a form of political protest was popularized during the Vietnam War, leading to a Flag Protection Act of 1968, which outlawed burning, defacing, defiling, mutilating, or trampling the flag. A Supreme Court ruling in 1989, Texas versus Johnson, overturned the law and declared the act of flag desecration protected as symbolic speech under the First Amendment. Well, Trump just said F you, First Amendment and Supreme Court. And it's going to go back to the Supreme Court, and I wouldn't doubt if they rule the other way. What do you think here, Ruckus?
It's a bit obvious. It's kind of on its nose, and I think most people get this, except the people who are cheering this on. You're
pro-crime, call me,
dude. If indeed the flag symbolizes what America stands for, that would include the right to burn the flag. So by making this executive order, Trump is metaphorically burning and spitting on the flag. So Should he be arrested himself? I think so. At least, and my next question is this also only in DC, or I mean, how is he going to? Is this applied across the entire country now? Is this, well, I cannot go outside right now and burn a flag without fear of a drone strike?
It's an executive order, yeah, and it's for America. It's for the whole country. Yeah.
Can we go back to arguing about the Cracker Barrel logo?
Maybe drone strike if they see you with a Chinese American flag burning it there. Yeah, and so literally Trump misses the point completely here again. And
also, what happened to the old Trump? The old Trump would be like, I have a better solution. I'm going to sell Trump-branded fire retardant flags, and we're going to specially contract it out. The United States government is going to immediately discontinue all flags. They ban all flags in America that can be set on fire. I'm okay with that, because then the government didn't make a law, trampling on your freedom, but they did the dirty, underhanded shit through their corporate private partnership. That's classic America move right there. That's something the old Trump would do. I don't like the new Trump full-on mustache man style, because everyone's going to start pointing at him saying, see, look, we told you so. And we don't want to deal with that, I assure you.
They even noted the Supreme Court ruling says my administration will act to restore respect and sanctity to the American flag, because they're getting ready for a big war here now. We'll get to, they want to wrap us in the flag. Watch your sports games. They were FU, we're kneeling for the national anthem. They're all on board now. And there's going to be a big propaganda push here for patriotism, and watch out for a big false flag attack. And they want us in a big war, probably with China over Taiwan, maybe even with Russia over Ukraine. Who knows? But or somebody else. Who knows? But I can see all this propaganda rolling out here. Yeah. Part of the Trump signs executive order to end cashless bail in Washington and nationwide, tasking the Department of Defense with creating a special National Guard unit to address public disorder and imposing a 1-year jail term for burning American flags. That's where we're at here. America. Go MAGA, America. Again, if you want, the government can't and won't keep you safe. And if you want all that safety, go lock yourself in the closet.
In case everybody missed it, the specialized troops means that they're armed.
Oh, we got more reporting on that. Okay, so President of Republic of Korea, South Korea, came to the White House today. Let's see if we can catch a Freemason handshake here. I don't know. What do you think?
They're both wearing ties, and you know what that means.
It means they're tied back to tyranny. So yeah, that guy showed up. Trump was saying that South Korea was going into our military bases and churches, something like this. The South Korean government has been very unstable, as their last president is in jail along with his wife now for issuing martial law orders. If people can remember back to what all of that started with, to issuing false martial law orders there. Trump, I don't know. Trump tells South Korean president, we think we can do something between North and South Korea. Let's watch this clip. And it's all gold now. It's all occultic there. He put gold trim on everything in the White House, just like his penthouse suite at Trump Tower.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you. I will say that Kim Jong-un and I had a very good relationship, as you remember, and still do. And when I came in, I didn't know him. We had 2 summits, but we became very friendly. Respect. It was great respect. And it was not going to be that way had Hillary Clinton won the election, it would have been a disaster. But we think we can do something in that regard with respect to North and South, and I think you are much more prone to doing that than other leaders that I've been working with from South Korea. And we'll work on that. I think it's very good to work on that. If you remember, you were doing the Olympics, and
isn't it gaudy? Look, he has all this gold all over. Everything is gold plated now there.
Say, at any point between the separation or conflict there between the northern part and the southern part of Korea, did one particular part do anything particularly egregious to the other side? Like anything that they might be like, it's kind of hard to forgive you for this kind of stuff? Or am I just way off base here? Who does Trump think he is? He's like, I'm just going to step. These conflicts are long and complicated and have a backstory that I don't even understand. Neither does most Americans in particular, let alone the people inside these countries at this point. But Trump, he's just like, nah, I'm just going to make a phone. We're friends. So I'm going to take him out golfing. I'll give him a Trump steak and it's all good. We'll smooth things over. I'll get it done with a phone call in 24 hours. The guy he's either like, he's suffering from a tremendous amount of hubris, or he's just literally like insane and he's got Alzheimer's and he's all over the place. I have no idea what he's expecting or thinking here, but he's acting like he's some magic god and he's gonna solve all the things, fix all the problems just because he's Trump. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. But more power to him if you can.
He's taking false credit. He's taking a lot of false credit though.
I'm skeptical. Yeah,
exactly. He said he's ended 10 wars. First it was 6, now it's 10.
No one will ever give him credit, but that's okay, Sam. That's okay.
He doesn't talk about the bombing. We bombed 5 countries in his first 6 months. Nobody even knows or cares. I tell MAGA, they're, Okay, here's Trump.
I'll give him credit for that.
Trump says he'll allow 600,000 Chinese students into the U.S. MAGA, lick the boots here, MAGA. This is what you love.
President Xi would like me to come to China. It's a very important relationship. As you know, we're taking a lot of money in from China because of the tariffs and the different things. And it's a very important relationship. We're going to get along good with China. I hear so many stories about we're not going to allow their students. We're going to allow their students to come in. We're going to allow. It's very important. 600,000 students. It's very important. But we're going to get along with China. But it's a different relationship that we have now with China. It's a much better relationship economically than it was before. With Biden, boy, what he allowed that, I mean, they just took him to the cleaners.
That's MAGA.
But Biden. It's the answer for everything.
Today was Abbey Gate, the 4th anniversary of the attack at Abbey Gate. One of the darkest days in our nation's history. 4 years ago, the gates of hell sprung open when an evil jihadi terrorist carried out a suicide bombing in Kabul, Afghanistan, killing 31 heroes of our U.S. armed forces and shattering the hearts of their families. A big old long explanation about it. We should have never been there. I mean, bless the hearts of these soldiers that died and of their families. It's horrific, but we should have never been there in the first place. Let's be honest about it. And they post. Let me just. Trump did not write this, but he signed it. So let me just put this up there. And so this is the Abbey Gate 4th anniversary, and Trump made a proclamation. Here's the text. As a horrific tragedy for the U.S. military, no doubt. And then signed Donald Trump. He didn't write any of this. Give me a freaking break. Give me a break. Can Trump read, Ruckus? My wife keeps telling me Trump can't read. And I'm like, he can read. He just doesn't read more than 1 page. Can Trump read? What do you think?
I think he does read, but I think he reads briefs and summaries. I think he's a summaries guy, and I think he probably has been for a long time.
Executive summary, because he's an executive business dude, and he's like, exactly. I don't got time. Just give me, a paragraph about what this is about. It's understandable, but maybe not when you're
100%.
passing laws and signing executive orders. You may want to know what it's affecting not just your company, Trump, the whole entire country.
Oh, I also would be willing to bet that of his own volition, he likes to scan headlines.
He likes to watch TV, he says it, and so he gets his news from Fox News. I mean, clown world, but the War Channel, so he likes that.
And I bet you he's looking for people saying positive things about him.
He's still,
because he's quite narcissistic.
Indeed. Here is his statement about the Abbey Gate incident. Am I pronouncing that right? Yeah, Abbey Gate. And notice on his desk, he has that idol, the trophy from FIFA soccer, as we pointed out there on Friday.
On behalf of this beautiful group, on behalf of these families, on behalf of your loved ones who fought for our nation, America deserves answers as far as what happened in Afghanistan. The military needs to answer for what happened in Afghanistan. So upon the president's direction, immediately we initiated an investigation which showed that there needed an even deeper dive. So Sean Parnell, our Pentagon spokesman, who himself is an Afghanistan veteran, is leading this effort. It's a top priority for us. We're getting access to all the documents necessary, why decisions were made, why they weren't made, why certain force protection measures were ignored. Again, there's never been accountability for this. It's something that Joe Biden allowed to happen that never should have happened. Any objective observer knows.
Joe Biden, we were in Afghanistan from 9/11, from Bush.
Was he doing a PowerPoint presentation there? Was he like, did he think he was on camera for Fox News special? That was not a somber or sincere thing to be. There was nothing about that. His tone of voice, his body language. He was clearly rehearsing from a script. It was terrible.
You don't say. Breaking news right here. We got, we're getting packed up here. I'll do it live because why not announce it? We got, well, let me make sure I get it straight. Anyway, continuing. Trump wants to revoke the broadcasting license of ABC and NBC. Their threat to democracy, he claimed in this post on his Truth Social there. Here's why is it that ABC and NBC, fake news, two of the absolute worst and most biased networks anywhere in the world, aren't paying millions of dollars a year in license fees? They should lose their license for their unfair coverage of Republicans and or conservatives, but at a minimum, they should pay up big for having the privilege of using the most valuable airwaves anywhere at any time. Crooked journalism should not be rewarded. It should be terminated, as they did there with the Aardvarks did there in, and he didn't even know about it. We'll get to that. Killing 6 journalists over the last 24 hours there. But Bibby said it was a mishap, and so we should all understand. What do you make of this? He's using the steam like you were talking about earlier about maybe underhandedly, roll out MAGA American flag, something like this, instead of just banning the burning of them. He's doing this backhanded. Oh, make them pay millions of dollars for broadcasting. I hate both of them. I don't like the government. I don't like the media. So I'm like, yeah. But still, we got to stand up for the First Amendment, or else we don't have anything.
I'm going to go ahead. At this rate, I'm going to have to just start predicting his next move, because this is like the tyranny handbook. I mean, he's like going down the list. He's like, okay, so we're cracking down on protest. Check. We're going to have armed troops on the street to keep everybody safe and secure, of course. Check. And let's see. Oh, that's right. We're going to start shutting down and controlling the media. Check. All right. So what's next? Oh, I'm going to guess something to do with churches and religion. I know he's already been diddling around with school, but I bet you the learning institutions and religion are the next targets. Just calling it.
They're pushing forced religion all over, quote, conservative states, red states.
Maybe we can teach everybody in high school why we have to support Israel.
There you go. That's part of our Constitution. So yeah. Here you go. Reporter asked Trump today, would you consider sending the National Guard into red cities that are also seeing high crime. I said, sure. So that's what they're going to do. The plan is your red state governors are going to sign off on the National Guard and they're going to target, quote, Democrat-run cities with Democrat mayors is exactly what they're going to do here now. Let's hear from Trump. And Chicago's next on the list. But Chicago, the funny thing about Chicago is not a red state. It's run by oligarch, what's the guy, Pritzker, oligarch family, billionaire, fat slob dude. And so it's a big blue state. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it sorts out.
Mr. President, on the National Guard, you've talked a lot about Democratic-run cities and states. Yeah. Would you also consider sending the National Guard into red states and red cities that are also seeing high crime?
Sure, but there aren't that many of them. If you look at the top 25 cities for crime, just about every one of those cities is run by Democrats.
Well, they say Pittsburgh in the chats there said that Trump told Judge Napolitano that he doesn't like to read. Reading is a conspiracy theory. So, okay, here's back to that.
What happened to the fact checks, by the way? Remember, anytime Trump would say something, they'd be like, that's not true. And there's probably nothing. But he says just about every city with all this high crime rate are run by Democrats. Where's the list that shows, well, actually, sir, 377 of the cities are red and only 5 are blue. I'm just saying, you never know.
Trump signs executive order establishing, quote, specialized National Guard units to address crime in cities. What do we know about this, Ruckus? This doesn't sound good, man. This doesn't sound good.
I just know I'm happy I live in Texas because until what Trump just said there, I was like, well, at least this will be the last place I have to worry about seeing that. But now I'm a little concerned.
Oh, no, he's going to use the red state governors to go in, like, I don't even know if, I assume, like Dallas, the big cities there in Texas, Democrat mayors, they're going to be sending them there. Today, Trump, along with that aside there, former Fox newsman Pete Hegseth, now Secretary of Defense, signed an order establishing specialized units in the National Guard that would be specially trained and equipped to deal with public order issues. The clearest sign yet that he intends to expand the U.S. military's role in domestic law enforcement activities across the country.
I see no problem here. This is totally normal. This is why haven't we done this? Like, why is this new? I mean, why have we never done this before now? I'm surprised that it's like, why didn't we come up with this before? This is weird.
Because Posse Comitatus says you're not allowed to have troops on the streets. And they get away with it in D.C. because they're like, oh, it's a gray area, not a state. But states have states' rights, the 10th Amendment. Who cares? If you got a red state governor, they're going to sign away all your rights. And so expect troops on the streets in a blue city near you here. It's going to be friggin' awesome. Secretary of Defense Hegseth said, really proud to be a part of defending the nation's capital, ensuring it is safe and beautiful, and working with law enforcement. There you go, fully militarized police. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Safe, beautiful. Are they like they're specially trained as cleanup crews too? Well, oh, hold on. Is that a dog whistle hint? A little code? They're going to use these troops to clean up the cities? Like, okay, well, we took care of the crime. What about all these homeless people everywhere? Well, we got to round them up and get them on out of here, don't we? Yeah, I'm thinking so.
They're targeting Chicago next. City and state leaders are pushing back against the Trump administration's rhetoric toward sending National Guard troops into Chicago, the next target for military deployment in the name of addressing crime, immigration, and homelessness, calling the idea unlawful and unnecessary. And so they're going to see big pushback there in Chicago from the mayor and the governor, these characters right here. And if they're such big failures, why are they not recalled from office? Why are they not arrested for corruption? I believe they're really serious when they start arresting politicians for corruption. I don't see that happening.
I'm going to take a wild guess that the protests will start to increase in response to these types of things, which will then just, you know, add fuel to the fire. So we'll have issues between cops and community and protests, and they'll be shipping them in. Like, see, they brought them in by the busload. Look, there's piles of bricks that were put there by George Soros's son's cousin-in-law, who's a Democrat who likes Biden. And we'll go through all of that garbage again, and they'll completely politicize this, and then it'll be done. They'll be like, bam, we're cracking down, and we'll have way more at that point than just the National Guard with their specialized troops, with their little sound weapons, by the way, and all sorts of fun, neat technological gadgets that are non-lethal, but probably incredibly painful and uncomfortable to have to deal with. Good luck with all that, people. I'm staying home. I'm going to wear 6 face masks and stay 6 feet apart from myself, just to be safe.
That will keep you safe. Chicago mayor on Trump troop threat. We will not bend or cower. And so we're going to see. Looks like things are coming to a head. U.S. Army is issuing a new medal. And so you can get this medal for going and being dismembered, possibly in a foreign war. Probably not at the U.S. border. I don't know. They are clashing with cartel here and there every now and again, but the military's going south of the border. And so here's your new medal you can earn in the U.S. Army for border defense. SecDef announces establishment of Mexican Border Defense Medal. Effective immediately, the Mexican Border Defense Medal is established to recognize service members deployed to the U.S. international border with Mexico for Defense Department support to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Oh, yeah, and the southern border is fully militarized. That's not reported enough as well. So we're getting into a full-on militarized police state here in America for our safety, of course.
Well, they got to deal with IEDs and stuff apparently too. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's getting quite. This is wild, man. Anyway, fun times ahead.
What?
I was on. Just in case you were on the fence, no pun intended, about joining the Border Patrol, maybe a nice shiny new medal will seal the deal, right? Like, hey, I could always get a medal if I join. Yay!
Pittsburgh says, I thought red cities wouldn't have crime because they aren't sanctuary cities and all crime comes from illegal immigrants. Well, you're right. You're right. These damn illegals are the criminals of criminals, besides the government.
It's Biden's fault. Everything would be fine if it wasn't for the open borders and China putting the fentanyl in Joe Biden's crack pipe and he dropped it somewhere, a Cracker Barrel, or was it crack? Or was it Crack Barrel? That's right. It was Crack Barrel, not Cracker Barrel. I was way off.
Well, thankfully, they're rolling out funding for a bunch more FEMA camps. FEMA to send states $608 million to build migrant detention centers. FEMA is starting a migrant support grant program, or detention support grant program, to cover the cost of states building temporary facilities, according to an agency announcement. And so here you go. They're building up the FEMA camps, man, and they're funding them. Yeah. Detention support grant program.
Centers.
Mm-hmm. Their detention support grant program there. The funds will be distributed by FEMA in partnership with U.S. ICE. So, wow, dude. Wow, man. FEMA staff warned the Trump administration is at risk of Katrina-level disaster as they're draining the coffers of FEMA. Unconstitutional. We shouldn't even have it. Established after 9/11. They should all resign in shame for being a tyrannical agency. More than 180 FEMA employees sent a letter on Monday, today, to Congress, arguing that the agency's direction and current leadership lacks experience, and the agency's mission could result in a disaster on the level of Hurricane Katrina, because they're draining the coffers for disaster relief response and building immigrant detention centers, i.e. FEMA camps.
Migration detention centers.
Migration detention.
We went from the camps to just straight up to like, at least the camp sounded fun, right? Like, oh yeah, camp. I like camp. Camping is fun. Detention, nobody likes detention.
I guess we better hope that Trump does stay in good health, because second in line there is J.D. Vance. Here's a video of the Palantir president waiting in the wings. And so rumors of Trump's bad health, hey, no matter how tyrannical he gets, do you want J.D. Vance, Mr. Technocracy, Palantir puppet of Peter Thiel there? I don't think so. Let's watch this video. Maybe we do.
Just moments ago, former President Donald Trump revealing his pick for vice president. Senator J.D. Vance, now his running mate.
J.D. Vance was elected to the Senate in 2022 and went from being a staunch...
Dude. Right now, Polymarket, the interweb betting outfit, has J.D. Vance favored for 2028 president. A lot can happen, obviously, between now and then, but this is where we're at today. You got J.D. Vance, Gavin Newsom, AOC, Buttigieg there. Did you fall off the stream there? We lost Ruckus. Pittsburgh, you say, what do you say? They're building FEMA camps there at, they're turning a former World War II era Japanese internment camp, Fort Bliss, into a migrant detention facility. Yeah. Yeah, not surprising. We lost Ruckus there, sadly. And it's time for the commercial break. No one happened to Ruckus. Okay, let's take our live commercial break here. Aforementioned, we're on Rawman over here. It's that bad. Go to weaponizednews.com, get yourself some stickers. As we're giving you our commercial-free broadcast here, packed full of information. Here is our holograph sticker, our white background sticker, and our clear sticker. Go to weaponizednews.com, get yourself some stickers. Give us a donation if you like. We have a couple books in the store, weaponizednews.com. You'll see the store at the top. We have a donation button right there. Cash App, Bitcoin wallet in the description below this video. All the ways you can support us. Subscribe on Substack. It's another way to support us. Reminder, go to Substack, Weaponized News Substack, and you can find links to everything we talk about for your deeper research if you're interested. Looks like Ruckus is back, and time for him to plug. Go ahead, Ruckus, plug.
Yo. Yeah, sorry, Palantir was mad at me. Go head on over to alternatecurrentradio.com if you dare. You'll find my Roundabout Ruckus, Daily Ruckus. You'll find Sunday Wire, Boiler Room, some of my friends' shows like Mystical American Patriot Society. Lots of fun stuff going on over there. So check it out, alternatecurrentradio.com. Also find me on X at AC_wordslinger, especially if you want to just chat. Follow me for some fun posts, and or if you want to hit me up because you need something done, because I am the word slinger when I'm not Ruckus. So if you need a website, graphic design, or some content editing, etc., let me know. There you go.
That was a good pitch. Thank you, Ruckus, for that message. Okay, here's Tim Walls. Let's hear from this character, former VP candidate with, if you look back, look at the clowns they give us. They give us Trump, Vance, Kamala, Walls, and these are This is democracy in America, and this is what we get to pick for our quote leadership. What a freaking joke, man. Here's Tim Walz. He's upset.
Think of how easy it would be to be a damn Republican. Oh, what should I wear today? This stupid freaking red hat. What should I say today? I don't know. Just make sure it's cruel. Who do we listen to? That guy. Oh, the felon in the White House? Yeah, listen to him and that will be fine. Now he's talking about burning flags. He's going to have flag burning or whatever. Because he knows there's a hell of a lot of flags with his picture on it that are going to get burned.
I honestly forgot about that guy. That's how
he's still the governor of Minnesota.
How is he? That's
yeah.
Minnesota has plenty of its own problems, sir. Why don't you focus on that first?
Okay, we're not going to let the Epstein story die here, and more came out today. I did an AI mashup for us, but the headlines quickly. Virginia Giuffre is to publish a memoir beyond her grave. She's died by alleged suicide. She didn't kill herself, but of course she did, as did Epstein, even though they didn't. Prince Andrew's sex abuse accuser autobiography called Nobody's Girl is to hit shelves in a matter of weeks. That's coming out. Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre wrote a memoir, and allegedly, well, we'll get to the mashup. Allegedly, it doesn't implicate Trump. I wonder what the editors say when she didn't kill herself to get this out. Oh, well, it didn't implicate Trump. Investigation into government's mismanagement of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell case escalates as top Republican issues sweeping new subpoena. And so this is House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer said his panel is reviewing the possible mismanagement of the federal government's investigation into Epstein and associate Maxwell. Let me read you here quickly from the excerpt mashup of these headlines. Virginia Giuffre, of course, a key accuser in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking scandal, completed her 400-page memoir, Nobody's Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting for justice, bless her heart, before her death by suicide in April of this year at the age of 41 following serious accident. And so maybe she did kill herself. I don't know. There's reports she had real big problems in her personal life, problems with her husband, kids like this. I'm sure, traumatized from the abuse. So maybe she did kill herself. It's hard to know, but that's the official story, and we're sticking to it. The book's set for release on October 21st of this year. Alfred A. Kampf is described as an aspiring, intimate, raw, and shocking account featuring disturbing and heartbreaking new details about her experiences starting as a teenager recruited by Epstein and Maxwell while working at Mar-a-Lago. Giuffre alleges being trafficked and sexually abused by Epstein, Maxwell, Prince Andrew, and other powerful and influential men, including specific claims against Andrew of assaults at age 17 in London, New York, and Epstein's Caribbean island in 2001. This is the first time she addresses Andrew publicly since their 2022 out-of-court settlement for a reported £12 million, with Andrew denying all wrongdoing and no immediate comment on the memoir. Like, this guy's going to comment on the memoir. The memoir, co-authored by journalist Amy Wallace, starting in the spring 2021, was vigorously fact-checked and legally vetted, distinct from her unpublished earlier manuscript, The Billionaire's Playboy Club, and secured in a seven-figure deal, initially with Penguin Press, before shifting to Kampf for an editor move. And so maybe she was worth more alive or more dead than alive. I don't know. Giuffre falsely accused Dershowitz, said it was a case of mistaken identity, allegedly, but he did threaten to sue her for all of her money. But never mind that. So she exonerated old OJ's lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, there of any wrongdoings, and Epstein's lawyer as well. Anything else about this? Let's get to the mashup because we got a lot more to get to.
Sure, I thought Dershowitz also offered legal advice to one Mr. Donald Trump. Oh, wait, you meant something else.
Victims backlash to the tapes, as we reported on Friday. Maxwell's DOJ interview was released last Friday. Audio tapes were included. Maxwell denied Guthrie's claims, called a key photo fake, and alleged Sarah Ferguson introduced Andrew to Epstein. Victims backlash to tapes. Epstein survivors criticized the DOJ for allowing Maxwell an unchallenged platform to quote, rewrite history and protect political figures like Trump, calling it a travesty and calculated performance. I would have to agree with them there. It all looked very well calculated from the raid on, what the heck's his name now? Bolton, to the backhanded release of these transcripts, trying to wiggle their way out of this Democrat hoax, according to Trump. Maxwell's status and pardon bid. Of course, all of this on the back of her requesting clemency for her trafficking crimes. But MAGA's out there, hey, look, she exonerated Trump. The no ties mean no ties to Epstein. See, we can trust Maxwell now. Ruckus, what do you think? Can we trust Maxwell's testimony?
But as we mentioned, I think on Friday's show, she also exonerated Bill Clinton right on the heels of Donald Trump wearing a hat that says Trump was right about everything, I might add, being completely wrong, at least according to Maxwell. I mean, which is it? Either Maxwell is right or she's wrong. Well, she's right about this part and she's wrong about that part. Like, you can't take anything any of these people say seriously. Take it all with a huge grain of salt and call me in the morning. No, don't call me at all. Just take the salt and do whatever.
Turning Point USA, bootlickers getting at America's youth. The great conservatives here of America, they're having a big conference. And here are the speakers. Let's take a look. What do we make of these characters? Probably the only one I like here is this guy, Rob Schneider, the comedian, because of his anti-miracles. All I see is a bunch of pro-Zionist warmongers, honestly, here now. Maybe Tucker says some good stuff every once in a while. This guy, Grant Cardone, he's like a real estate dude, getting political now. What do you think of these cast of characters?
Yeah, even your Rob Schneider has got an issue with that whole Zionism thing. No, they're all gung ho pro up Trump's butt and Israel's butt about everything. 100%. Yeah, shut down those protests. More troops on the streets. All of that. I mean, like, it's interesting coming from people like him who did seem to. Well, any of these people, weren't these allegedly the people that a little late to the party, I might add, were suddenly like, hey, it's unfair what the government did to you and shut down your businesses and made you do this and then, like, but that was under Trump's administration. Oh, well, yeah, that was Deborah Birx who did that. In fact, it wasn't Trump. But Trump takes credit for the No. They got excuses for everything, dude. It's ridiculous.
And so they're brainwashing the youth here with America propaganda there for your Constitution. So, and they all love Israel there. So, wow. The clown.
I'll skip it.
The clown influencers of the interwebs there, and all over the media there, a bunch of them. And there's liars. And it's
actually all those people on that flyer are basically being replaced. Some of them, of course, are big on X, but I mean, a lot of these more mainstream figures that have their live streams or they're on YouTube or Rumble, I'm like, they're just being completely supplanted by cat turd and all the cat turds of the X and the Nick Sorter. Was Nick on the list? Out of curiosity,
no,
I don't think so.
No.
How about somebody like Mario, like a big X space kind of guy, Mario Nafwal, or whatever his name is?
No, they're not right wingers. They're like middle of the roaders or whatever.
Yeah, they They have their
They lean
moments.
right. They lean right because
They're
know,
very much into the technocracy. I'll give them that.
They love it. And so there you go.
At this point, I could care less what the Republicans are doing. I'm far more concerned with the, well, I guess it's going to be one giant merging soon. Like we're going to, you know, the transhumanism is the combination of the humans and the machines. The new political
The singularity.
Yep. The same thing's going to happen with politics because we're going to just get rid of the Democrats, get rid of the Republicans, and we're going to have the AI government. And we're going to be screaming for the old system at that point. We're like, no, as terrible as it was, can we go back to the way it was, please?
Give me my corrupt politicians. Okay, moving on here. Yeah, these are all the clown influencers. They're paid government propagandists now because their guy is in power. And so they're not fighting the establishment. None of these people are. They are the establishment now. So let's get that straight. And they're all pro-Zionist. Pro-genocide, pro-Zionist. I don't even know what you say at this point. It's beyond the pale. We flip sides. Let me flip back. I like being on the other side. Sorry about that. I got crazy.
I thought I lost the audio again for a second too, but no, we're good.
No, I got crazy with the switches. Okay, on to public health quickly. This is underreported out of Zero Hedge. I saw it and said we should probably report it. Why are more and more Americans becoming disabled? I don't know. I don't know. Bureau of Labor Statistics data reveals 1.1 million more Americans have become disabled in just the past 3 months. That is a shocking uptick, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. 1.1 million, Ruckus, Americans have become disabled in the last 3 months.
Disability is a pretty broad term, so I'm curious, is there any one particular type of disability that stands out more than the other? I mean, that is a huge, that's a jump. That's a large number. That's a lot of people. But I don't know. Are we including mental issues? Are we classifying drug addiction as a disability? Or are we talking about all? I mean, I know we got a problem with Hamas coming here and blowing people's limbs off and stuff, right? So I don't know.
It's probably the damn Hamas. No, this report doesn't get into the details of what.
Fireworks. That's it. Fireworks incidents. They're missing their fingers. Because we're so back, baby.
Well, take a look at this graph. We can't say the words here, but they say could have something to do with this. I don't know. But it's like you said, probably these Hamas are blowing up people all over America. But yeah, you can see a trend.
Just think this time a couple of years ago, Sam, we could blame climate change. Now we get to blame Hamas. It's far more interesting this way.
It is. It is. But if you could see since we are a video audio show, I don't even load up I think I may start uploading the audio again to a podcast or whatever it is, man. We're a TV show here on Access Television.
It's very visual, people. I encourage you to watch.
There you go. Pittsburgh gets it. Says, I believe in miracles. More public health news here. Breakthrough new treatment could reverse Down syndrome. Cutting edge technology could one day transform, and they're getting into the gene editing here now with CRISPR. I don't want them doing this. I don't want them doing this, Ruckus. They say Down syndrome in America, 1 in 700 births in the United States, an estimated 250,000 people are living with a condition of Down syndrome in America. I don't want them fixing it. What do you think with CRISPR technology?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we all know this wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for Biden. First of all, let's get that out of the way. And Trump, to his credit, has cured millions of Down syndrome, but he doesn't get the credit for it. That's okay. That's okay. He did it in a phone call within 24 hours. He got it done. Yeah, no, I'm just being a jerk here. I don't know, man. Clearly, I'm on the fence again about whether or not this has to do with the jibby jabs. I'm sure that's related, but I think that there's something else going on in general about the toxicity of all the things in our society, in our world, the the smoke and the stuff that comes from the factories and the chemical spills on all the trains, including the ones we never hear about, the Fukushima disasters, the processed foods, the food dyes that for some strange reason we're allowed to serve to our own people here in America, but they're banned in other countries. But RFK Jr., he's going to get that fixed. I mean, we got Mexican Coke or whatever, sugar Coke. Yeah, we're good. That'll solve everybody's problems. But so I think it's a whole host of issues, but we're never allowed to talk about it or discuss. It's like, no, clearly it's Biden's fault or whatever. It's climate change. They just have an excuse for what's causing it without, like, admitting the fact that it's our lifestyle, our society, everything that we pretend that makes America great, which is killing us literally. They just don't want us to know that. I mean, it's a harsh reality. If you want to be healthy, you have to live outside of, you're going to be the weird guy. You're going to be the shaker, the Quaker living off of the grid. No electricity, no cell phone, no McDonald's, no Coke. Oh, that's so un-American. But you're going to live to be like 120 probably. This is not medical advice, but you get what I'm saying here, right? So we can't always just blame the thing. However, we can easily at this point blame the thing for the other thing, for darn sure.
Down syndrome.
Especially when you're 10. When you're 10 years old having heart problems, there's only one thing that caused that. I don't care who you are or where you come from.
It's admitted by the government.
It's
admitted that the miracle jobs cause pericarditis and myocarditis. That's from the Health and Human Services Department. So yeah,
we can trust them. Well, in this case.
Well, they finally admitted something. Cutting edge technology could one day transform treatment for Down syndrome. They want to cut the DNA with a CRISPR gene editing tool is what they're proposing here. I don't know if I believe
so much of that is fake, by the way.
Yeah,
that a lot of that is fake. Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say. I have a hard time believing a lot of that. But anyway, that's what they're proposing here now. And this one, I believe, did happen. I don't want a pig lung. Pig lung transplanted into human for first time breakthrough could pave the way for organs on demand, since they for patients on the donor list. As again, the HHS announced, oh yeah, by the way, they're harvesting your organs in American hospitals, and that's according to the Department of Health and Human Services like 2-3 weeks ago. That should have been the biggest story ever. And they're yawn. And it's like, they're harvesting your organs. The government's telling you, man, yawn. Like, what does it take, Ruckus? What does it take? Are you interested in a pig lung transplant?
No, not at all. I'll pass.
Okay. And it's beyond the paywall, or I would read you more details, but,
they always do this with pig stuff because of all the animals. Apparently, genetically speaking, according to science, they're the closest ones to us. So, like, our bodies don't reject their skin. Like the skin is a perfect example. They'll use like pig skin to graft for burn victims, and and then it'll slough off and have to be replaced. But I mean, it's the only thing that will coincide with the human body, apparently, which is very strange. I don't know if that's necessarily true, or if they pick things like cows and pigs because they want to tell us how they really think, what they think about us, because we're just, pigs are not. Well, I used to raise pigs back on the family farm in New Hampshire when I was a kid. Pigs are cool and all, but they're big, messy, dirty. They're terrible creatures. I would not want to be compared to a pig. That's why it's an insult to call a police officer that. They take it very seriously. But it's okay for us to have pig parts. You know what I mean? That's like, what does that mean? It's strange.
First time ever, scientists have transplanted a genetically edited pig lung into a living human body. Researchers in China reported the medical feat today in the Nature Medicine publication. The gene-edited left lung survived for 9 days inside a person declared to be brain dead. So there you go.
Could this procedure be considered anti-Semitic in certain circles?
It's definitely not kosher. Oh, man. I think we'll get to this one tomorrow. The scientists claim to have finally solved mystery of Bermuda Triangle. No, we got to get to it today because I have and we still have a lot of news to get to. You want to do Bermuda Triangle or move on?
I love Bermuda Triangle.
Okay, we're gonna do it. How much time do you got today? Because
I'm not in a rush.
Okay, we still got a lot of stories that I'll try to get through it as quick as I can. Let's take a look at this one. I'm into it too. What the hell goes on in the Bermuda Triangle? Why do we not hear about it anymore? It used to be like really scary. I don't want to go there, and then you don't hear about it anymore. Anyway, let's take a look at this story from the Daily Mail. Scientists claims to have finally solved mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, from vanishing aircraft to sinister ghost ships. The Bermuda Triangle is the location of some of the planet's strangest phenomena. Scientists claim to have finally solved the mystery. What do you think here, Ruckus?
What's their solution? I'm gonna have to read this article.
Located between Florida, Puerto Rico, Bermuda, the Bermuda Triangle's long history of deadly wrecks has prompted endless supernatural speculation. However, Dr. Simon Boxall, an oceanographer from the University of Southampton, says that the real explanation doesn't involve UFOs or interdimensional portals. Instead, says that the Bermuda Triangle's record of disappearances is due to rough waves. Well, I'm convinced. It's pretty rough seas there, otherwise known as extreme storm waves. These are unpredictable walls of water that can reach twice the height of the surrounding waves. So yeah, it's just that explains it.
Must be really, really tall waves to take out those airplanes, right? Some of those stories in the Bermuda Triangle, I'm like, okay, I can't explain this, and I don't want to get aliens and things involved, of course. But one of these ones where instances where they sent like, it was like a series, like a total of 8 of them, like one right after another, to go looking for the other guy, and then that one would get lost, and then the one that would go after that one would get lost. And like what the heck is going on here? It's pretty wild stuff. Yeah. And then they got the Devil's Triangle one too, or the Dragon. There's another one. I think this one's the Devil's Triangle too, is the other word for it, right? There's 2 triangles on the planet where things disappear. And why are they triangles, huh? There's got to be some sort of there. I don't know. But I don't like to mess with the ocean. The ocean is a great big mystery, and I think we will never understand it, which is why we're in a darn hurry to get up there and check out Mars, even though we can't go back to the moon, and we know nothing about our own planet all the way through and through. But we got to get to Mars, everybody. Yep.
What are rogue waves? This is what the scientist claims is causing it, not anything supernatural or whatever. It's the ocean, so maybe true. Rogue waves or killer waves are scientifically known as extreme storm waves, i.e. climate change. So I think we have some more climate change too. So, hey, these are abnormally steep and large waves, which can be twice the size of the surrounding swells. They are very dangerous for ships since they can come up from directions other than the prevailing wind. Scientists still aren't sure how they form, but they might be triggered by multiple waves combining. Still no explanation how they reach up and get planes, but hey, storms may also focus wave energy into an unusual direction, joining multiple waves into a single rogue wave. So there you go.
Now that's interesting about the energy, because there is some interesting studies about the energy involved in the swirling wind vortex involved with hurricanes and tornadoes. It's a very powerful thing. What if there's something about, because the world is, we're energy beings. The world is energy. We see light, that's energy. Waves, lights, waves, audio is waves. So maybe there's something to his wave theory. I don't know. This is interesting.
Here's the triangle. So in here, there's these rogue waves. It's what the scientists claim may very well be something going on there in the ocean. Rogue waves. Okay.
I bet it was Biden's fault.
I blame Democrats. In the interest of time, we're going to play this one, but we did have, just a reminder, flashback, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment from 1932 to 1972, the U.S. Public Health Service Department ran a study. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's horrific, but it's just like, it's overwhelming. It's not funny. It's gallows humor here. The HHS ran a study in Macon County, Alabama, tracking 600 black men, 400 with syphilis and 200 without, to observe the disease's progression. The men were never told that they had syphilis and were denied treatment even after penicillin became a cure in the 1940s, dragging on for 4 decades until the AP exposed it in 1972, sparking a $10 million lawsuit for survivors and families. And that's some of the government, but this is even, I don't know, pick your evil government. That's kind of our government here, but America, don't damn burn the flag. Here's a flashback of MK Ultra survivor. It's less than 2 minutes. So let's take a listen to this. To America.
I'm Christy Nicola, born July of 1962, rendering me 32 years of age. I was a subject in radiation as well as mind control and drug experiments performed by a man I knew as Dr. Green. My parents were divorced around 1966, and Donald Richard Ebner, my natural father, was involved with Dr. Green in the experiments. I was a subject from 1966 to 1976. Dr. Green performed radiation experiments on me in 1970, focusing on my neck, throat, and chest, 1972 focusing on my chest and my uterus in 1975. Each time I became dizzy, nauseous, and threw up. All these experiments were performed on me in conjunction with mind control techniques and drugs in Tucson, Arizona. Dr. Green was using me mostly as a mind control subject from 1966 to 1973. His objective was to gain control of my mind and train me to be a spy assassin. The first significant memory took place at Kansas City University in 1966. Don Ebner took me there by plane when my mom was out of town. I was in what looked like a laboratory, and there seemed to be other children. I was strapped down, naked, spread eagle, on a table, on my back. Dr. Green had electrodes on my body, including my head. He used what looked like an overhead projector and repeatedly said he was burning different images into my brain while a red light flashed aimed at my forehead.
Sounds like fun.
And that's your public health from America. Okay, continuing here. Our geopolitical news. Australia is considering a spare bedroom tax to tackle the housing crisis, proposing to tax under-occupied homes, targeting the 60% of properties with 1 or 2 occupants living in 3 or more bedrooms. Sex crimes committed by foreign nationals in the UK raised 62% in the last 4 years, out of the Telegraph headline there. Here's Trump. Trump says he will back up a European security guarantee to Ukraine.
He rolled out boots on the ground in Ukraine, but how would air support as part of a security guarantee be any different? Those U.S.
Well, you
airmen...
really went from one question to the next. I expected him to at least challenge me a little bit. Now we're talking about boots on the ground.
But U.S. air assets over the skies of Ukraine as part of a security guarantee, wouldn't those U.S. airmen also be in danger?
You don't know what security guarantee is because we haven't even discussed the specifics of it. And we'll see. Number one, Europe is going to give them significant security guarantees, and they should because they're right there. But we'll be involved from the standpoint of backup. We're going to help them. And I think if we get a deal, and I think we will, but if we get a deal, they're not going to. I don't believe you're going to have much of a problem. But we'll back it up because I want to stop seeing people being killed. You know.
It's just the backup. Right.
Trump's the backup. We have Lavrov here now says there's no deal because Zelensky's not the legitimate president. Let's hear. So I guess there will be no deal with Zelensky as unelected president of Ukraine. Let's hear from Lavrov, foreign minister of Russia.
So
Okay,
yes,
Mr. Foreign Minister,
he is ready to
moving.
meet.
Let's keep moving.
But no, we cannot meet just for him to have a picture and to say that now I am legitimate. Legitimacy is another matter, because irrespective of when this meeting might take place, and it must be very well prepared, the issue of who is going to sign the deal on Ukrainian side is a very serious
So you're
issue.
saying you don't see President Zelensky as the legitimate leader of Ukraine? President Putin doesn't recognize him as the legitimate leader of Ukraine?
No, we recognize him as de facto head of the regime. And in this capacity, we are ready to meet with him. But when it comes to signing legal documents, no, you want to have the entire picture, just part of it, which suits you. When we come to a stage when you have to sign documents, we would need a very clear understanding by everybody that the person who is signing is legitimate. And according to the Ukrainian Constitution,
How is that going to work?
Well, he's telling that, who's that NBC woman? Yeah, NBC woman that has to be legal. So
Even if we get everybody to agree to the terms, we're still not there yet until they get rid of Zelensky and properly elect a new leader. And
that's what he's implying. That's what he's implying there, yeah.
Oh, man, we've got a long, long road ahead of us still. Get out of here. Nice.
Hey, maybe he's putting it out there and they'll say that's a bridge too far, so maybe they're still negotiating here, it looks like. Zelensky wants EU to provide $1 billion monthly allowance to fuel war against Russia. So yeah, they're saying he's not even the legitimate leader to sign legal documents. Here's some more of that climate change for you, though, that we were talking about earlier. Maybe it is rogue waves, I don't know. But here's the, can we get this to play? Some channels on the X, their videos on their throttled, I noticed, like they don't play good. It's like, what the hell's going on here? And other channels plays fine. Let's see. Yep, I guess we're skipping that one. It ain't playing. Oh, here we go. Sure took a long time. Here's Christine Lagarde. It is our duty to check the climate change risk to which banks are exposed. They're still implementing UN Agenda 2030.
And on climate change, I disagree with you. I really disagree with you, because as part of our mission, the ECB must do supervision of the banks, right? It's a separate umbrella, but it's part of the ECB. And in the supervision of banks, it is our duty to check the climate change risk to which banks are exposed. If I have a mortgage on a house which is located by the ocean line, and there is a risk of flood, or there is a risk of that house never being insured again, it has to be taken into account in the balance sheet of the banks. So that is risk management at its basics, and we are doing that at the ECB. I think the Fed has been very, very much on the fence in relation to climate change, and I wouldn't say that the Fed has been actively participating in any of our debates on climate change, including from a risk management perspective.
Nice. Who was that guy? Oh, I'm just kidding.
That was Christine Lagarde.
I'm being mean. I'm sorry. That was terrible.
The ECB president.
Yeah, I know who Christine Lagarde is. She's looking very Trumpish. She's got that Trump glow, that color going on there, though.
Trump's going for the Peace Prize here. He says he's going for denuclearization. If nukes are even real, that's still up for debate.
One of the things we're trying to do with Russia and with China is denuclearization. and it's very important. One of the things I discussed with President Putin the other day, it wasn't just that, it was also other things. And I think the denuclearization is it's a big aim, but Russia's willing to do it, and I think China's going to be willing to do it too. We can't let nuclear weapons proliferate. We have to stop nuclear weapons to power.
You first.
Ruckus, but they're building many nuclear reactors all over America to power AI. And Hamas is running. We got jihadist, terrorist Hamas running around everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not adding up for me.
Plus, denuclearize. I don't think that's a word. I don't think that's a thing. I don't know what he's talking about. He needs to elaborate further on that one before I can pass judgment on it. But on the face of it, it sounds like a bunch of phony baloney, fake promises, garbage, political talk. Like, that's the plot from Superman, one of the Superman movies, right? They took all the weapons and he destroyed them all, right? Or whatever. It's crazy.
Trump's got, and I agree with this move, rename the Department of Defense to the Department of War. I don't, it's more honest.
And so, Pete, you started up by saying the Department of Defense, and somehow it didn't sound good to me. You know, it didn't sound good. Defense, what are we defense? Why are we defense? So it used to be called the Department of War, and it had a stronger sound. And as you know, we won World War I, we won World War II, we won everything. Now we have a Department of Defense with defenders. I don't know. If you people want to, standing behind me, if you take a little vote, if you want to change it back to what it was when we used to win wars all the time, that's okay with me. All right?
That's coming
soon. You let me know if you want to do it. I think Department of War. It just sounded bad. He said, sir, on behalf of the Department of Defense. Defense. I don't want to be defense only. We want defense, but we want offense too, if that's okay. So you'll make a decision. But, you know, as Department of War, we won everything. We won everything. And I think we're going to have to go back to that.
Guy's a psychopath. That's crazy. Was either of the World War I or World II, regardless of who technically won them, was our participation in either of those and or both of them combined any good for this country? What good did that do for America and for Americans? If I'm not mistaken, we lost a lot of people during World War I in particular. And then last time I checked, when they used to teach this stuff in history classes, we didn't win World War II. It was another country, and we just saw their spokesperson a little while ago speaking about Ukrainians president, if in case you didn't know who technically won World War II. Anyway.
Does anybody win a war? Like you said, how many troops? The war profiteers won. The the globalist won, but that's about all that wins.
The military-industrial complex certainly wins. No matter who wins or loses, they always win.
The war profiteers. Venezuela sends 15,000 troops to border as U.S. warships approach. As Trump announces renaming the Department of Defense to the Department of War, or floating the idea at least. So yeah, there we go. As military is, it looks like, wouldn't that be overthrowing the government? But they declare him an international criminal, so they're going to say it's just justice. Like
they've tried
to
overthrowing
a government.
Didn't they try to get rid of this guy multiple times through like rigging his elections, fomenting fake rebellions, and now we're just going to go to war with the dude? I did not have this one on my bingo card. I got to admit that I did not see this one coming. But this could be the next big hot conflict. This is crazy, and again, out of left field as far as I'm concerned. This is crazy to me. If we actually go into some sort of armed conflict, shooting one-on-one Venezuelans against Americans. Holy crap. I don't know. I don't even know, Sam. But maybe that's going to be the one. That could be the war that Trump, he started and wrapped up. And we won the war. And like, oh, yeah, the war of 2025. I Let me tell you, Timmy, about the Great War of Venezuela. Like, what the hell? This is nuts.
He's going
I hope
after.
not. Let's not get there, but it's
He's
looking
going
bad.
after drug traffickers, and Guyana, right to the south, there has massive oil findings. So that could be.
It's also close to home. I might want to add. You guys are always worried about like all these foreigners. Like these people are like right. They're not that far away from us. You know what I'm saying? Is this the fight we want to pick right now with ourselves spread so thin in other foreign lands? If you know what I mean.
They're gearing up for something there. Okay. Well, sadly, 6 journalists and a total of 58 people were killed and 308 injured in the last 24 hours there in Gaza. At the hospital, what was the name of the hospital? The hospital attack there. That's all over the news. 28 people died, 184 were injured from aid-related incidences, were brought to the hospital, raising the overall total of aid-seeking victims who reached the hospital to 2,123. Wow. Wow. So they are opening the gates of hell there in Gaza City like they said they were going to do. Like Defense Minister Katz said, here's what they're doing there now. Let's take a look at this. Aardvark's rolling ahead with Gaza City takeover to free hostages, beat Hamas. There's our great senator out of Iowa, Joni Ernst there, pictured with our president. Let's watch this report from the fake news. We won't get these reports if Trump bans them. ABC News here. Let's see what they had to say about it.
Forces are moving in on Gaza City as a UN-backed report warns of famine in the area impacting hundreds of thousands of people. Our chief international correspondent, James Longman, is tracking the latest. And James, overnight we learned reports of Israeli strikes killing over a dozen, including journalists.
Yeah, that's right, Rachel. Israeli airstrikes on a hospital in southern Gaza have killed at least 4 journalists. Video shows the 4th floor of the Nasser hospital targeted, and when ambulance crews and reporters arrive, another strike hits. Hamas says more than a dozen people have been killed. Israel says they regret any harm to uninvolved individuals. 2 weeks ago, an Israeli strike...
It's up to 6 now, and they just reported again another 6. So I think we have the total here. Maybe the press will start saying something now about the dead journalists. We've been reporting a long time here since I started seeing reports about it. Trump on this attack on Nasser Hospital says he doesn't know anything about it, but everything's fake news to him anyway, too, except for Fox. So.
If we could get your reaction, sir. The Israelis bombed a hospital in Gaza that killed 20 people, including 5 journalists.
When did this happen?
This happened overnight, today.
I didn't know that. No.
Any reaction to this? Are you
Well,
going
I'm
to
not
talk to
happy
the Prime
about it.
Minister?
I don't want to see it. At the same time, we have to end that whole nightmare. I'm the one that got the hostages out. I got them out. All of them. Steve Witkoff has been amazing. He's done a great job. But I'm the one that got them all out through my people and through me. And now we're left with probably a little.
Huh? You got the hostages out. Wait. This says right here from Aardvark Times. Huh? This says that they're rolling into Gaza City to take it over to free hostages. Huh? I'm confused here, Ruckus.
No, you're not confused. Trump is confused, or he's playing confused. Like, I thought, like, weren't we just discussing? He gets those briefs. He's supposed to know about these kind of things. Oh, I didn't know about it. When, like, well, shoot. So you're telling everybody you can't do your own damn job? I mean, the reporter knew about it. You could tell other people in the room knew about it from their reactions, like, "Oh crap, they went there." How did a reporter sneak in there with an unprepared question? That's what I want to know.
He's giving fair press conferences at least.
They probably came from ABC and CBS or whatever, which is why
The
Trump
ones
wants
he
to
wants to
muzzle
ban,
them.
probably. Sadly, tragically, as all the deaths are there, but more high-profile people than just your Joe Blow Palestinian, so it's getting way more attention. But the genocide is continuing. It's like, as we report here at Weaponized News, the horrific war crimes going on in Gaza. But to this specific incident of the Nasser hospital in southern Gaza, it resulted in the killing of at least 20 people, and I just reported they're still stacking the bodies. It's horrific. This is what like 12 hours ago or something. And anyway, continuing here, including 5 journalists from Reuters, AP, Al Jazeera, and Middle East Eye. And so the Reuters and the AP, maybe that'll get somebody's attention. They say Al Jazeera was Hamas, so they don't even count. I don't know, Middle East Eye, probably Hamas too. You know what I mean? So they call everybody Hamas they don't like. Quite horrific. And then another independent, as in the thumbnail here for the show. So 6. There may be some dying right now. Ruckus over there. They're killing so many of them.
You know, Israel messed up when they have to admit that they accidentally and that they regret doing the killing of uninvolved individuals. That was the technical term that they like to use there. Neat.
Here's the I can't get the thumbnail. Anyway, continue. You guys can see the thumbnail of the 6 now. It's probably even more. Bibi said it was here's the most recent guy, and it's up to 246 journalists killed since October 7th, the worst attack in the history of the world. So 6 today now, and there's probably more. They're targeting journalists because they don't want the story getting out. They won't let international reporters in there. And so anyway, this guy was number 6 today. Horrific. Al Mosawi. Wow. Oh, what's the name? Hassan Duhan. Excuse me. That was where it was at. So, again, 246 journalists killed there. They're for free speech ruckus. Here's what Bibi had to say. Netanyahu says Aardvark land regrets mishap at Gaza hospital.
Oh, it's a mishap.
It was a mishap. Our war is with Hamas terrorists. Our just goals are defeating Hamas and bringing our hostages home, he said.
Yeah, usually the other journalists that they kill, they're because they are with Hamas. That's what they say, anyways. It's crazy.
At least he acknowledged that it was a mishap.
Well, they had to do something this time because one of them was an AP reporter, if I'm not mistaken.
And Reuters.
That without them at least coming out and saying, "Oh, well, they're not going to condemn it, but we regret that happened." Okay. That's like going to the Hallmark and buying the sympathy card, right? You know, there you go.
Continuing there, again, the whole Greater Aardvark Land project, you see they're going all around. And Netanyahu says Aardvark Land could withdraw from Lebanon if Hezbollah is disarmed.
That should be easy. No problem. Trump's on it. He's going to make a phone call. 24 hours.
Aardvark Land strikes on Yemeni capital yesterday or 24 hours ago. Kills 6, wounds many others. Here's a quick video of that. All around them, man. To be fair, Yemen is shooting missiles at them, but here's the dude. Here's a Yemeni man. Let's take a listen. It's got English subtitles about that attack.
هذا الاستهداف الإسرائيلي الغاشم الظالم الوحشي الوقح على هذه المنشآت المدنية النفطية المرتبطة بالشعب والمواطنين ظنا من الإسرائيلي أنه سيستهدفنا في معيشتنا وفي ظروفنا الاقتصادية، ظنا منه أن الشعب سيتراجع عن خروجه وعن مساندته المليونية في كل جمعة وعن تأييده للقوات الصاروخية والقوات المسلحة، ظنا منه أننا سنتراجع. لا يمكن أن نتراجع أبدا مهما حصل، مهما ضرب، مهما استهدف، بل سنشاطر الشعب الفلسطيني في معاناته وفي بأساه وفي ضراه وفيما يلحق به من أذى. سنكون لسنا أغلى من الشعب الفلسطيني، لسنا لا دماءنا ولا نساءنا ولا منشآتنا ولا بنيتنا أغلى مما يجري ويحدث في فلسطين، فنحن جنبا إلى جنب معهم وكتفا بكتف، والله سبحانه وتعالى هو الذي سيمن علينا بنصره وبتأييده، وسيغتاظ أولئك الأعداء عندما يروننا نزداد قوة وصلابة وعزيمة وتحرك واستشعار المسؤولية.
So I guess it's not helping. It's almost, it's like it's making it worse. Uh-oh.
There's more, Ruckus. Syria says Aardvark land takes some territory around Mount Hermon despite talks. They're still in land everywhere. They just annexed the West Bank. Was it Section E1? And now they're taking land in Syria. They're taking all of Gaza. They've already said that.
Well, when you're entitled to it because it's literally given to you by God, I mean, what would you do, Sam?
True. They are on a mission from God. If your God's Satan. Let's see here. Syria to sign stabilization deal with Aardvark land. And then last headline of the day, I found this funny. This guy, what the heck's his name? The interim president of Syria, Ahmed al-Sharaa, is set to deliver a speech at the United Nations General Assembly next month in a week and a half, something like that.
The handsome one, right? The one that Trump thinks is handsome?
The former Al-Qaeda terrorist.
Yeah, the head chopper. Yeah, him. Yeah, he's cool.
A former radical jihadist, now reformed president of Syria, is going to speak at the United Nations Assembly.
Why not? It's 2025, after all.
Okay, Ruckus. Thank you for joining us. We made it to 2 hours, just right on time there.
It was fun. Just in time, I'm gonna go meet some friends at the new restaurant down the street. It's called the Cackler Barrel. It's a good one. I encourage people to check it out. Just kidding.
The Cackler Barrel. Didn't you have the Crack Barrel?
Yeah, I had the Crack Barrel too. There's a whole slew of them. They did one with Obama. They did one with Joe Biden where it's Cracker Barely There Barrel or something like that. And then I think one of my favorite ones was Senator Elizabeth Warren, and it says, "I'm Indian. I'm not even a Cracker Barrel," or something like that. That was pretty funny.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Monday edition of Weaponized News. Over to the channel's Odysee, there's a couple people there. John. What does John say? See if we can pick out a comment. Something about, yeah, commies at the Supreme Court. Yeah. What did you say, Sammy? I'm convinced that Trump has gone out of his mind. What little mind he had. I think he's dangerously delusional. I don't know. Maybe the clips are out of context. I'd like to hope not, but all signs point toward that, yes. Highland, eyeliner through the roof, talking about Vance. Thank you guys. Let's see. What did they say? Aardvark, Talking Heads, Chaos Observers. They keep talking about some 7th, about terrorism. Why don't they talk about the terrorism against Palestinians since 1947? Yeah, it's horrific. It's we do talk about it. It's horrific. It goes all the way back there. It's horrific what's going on there. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Odysee, the Bitchute, the Rumble. Even though we had technical difficulties, there is a chat going over there, but I couldn't see your guys' chat because it didn't feed through. But here we have there. We have Gunther, Denver, Chloe. Are they saying here Trump has already provided enough outrage to pay to his critics' confirmation biases, even though how much of which was contrived and fake? It only polarizes those true believers on both sides. Yeah, they're running giant psyops on us all day. Keep believing the plan, man. Carrie, thank you guys for tuning in. Pamela, someone forgot to throw the goats into the volcano. Ruckus vaporized. Maybe it was the Bermuda Triangle that got you when you went off. Could have been. Some strange coincidences at Weaponized News. Thank you guys for tuning in on Rumble, X, YouTube, Twitch, Kick. And as always, everybody do your own research. Peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Monday evening.